Hiya, welcome back to part two. We're building the Dodge Challenger today and finishing it off. We've got bags 4 and 5 still to do, so I'm going to rip open bag 4 and let's get cracking. So how are we, everyone? You all okay? All good? Yeah, put that up there. All a little bit. It's got plenty of ketchup lids in there. Right, okay, let's carry on. So we're building this lovely Dodge Challenger, and yesterday we sort of got this far, which is quite good. And let's see how far we get today. Hopefully we'll get it all finished. What do you think, Buttons? Yeah, do you reckon we'll get it all finished? That goes on there like so. Okay, rock and roll. Got a little jumper brick here. Okay. So, did we like the build so far? Have you been enjoying this build or not particularly? What are your thoughts? I've had some people that are quite excited about it. I haven't had any bad comments on it yet, which is a good thing. Do we like the old American muscle cars? I quite like them, if I'm honest with you. Sort of quite nostalgic, aren't they? A lot of the old American films we used to watch had the old American muscle cars in. Little snot brick with the ketchup lid on the top. What's that about? And another one on that side. I've never known a car to have so many ketchup lids in it. That goes there, that goes there. Right, okay, so that clips onto the ketchup lid. Okay. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-bum. Oh, come on, you got it? That's it. That clips onto there, like so. Right. Mysteriouser and mysteriouser. Bum 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 bum. Okay, so that goes on there, and that goes on there like so, and then that goes on there. Okay. That does look a bit weird, doesn't it? And then we've got another one for the other side. You really do wonder, don't you? And there we go. That goes on. Whoops. That goes on there like so. And then that goes on there like so. Okay. I wonder why. I wonder why. And then that goes on there. And then this goes on there like so. Interesting. Okay. There must be a reason for all of these bits that you're never going to see that go underneath. I find it quite amazing how many bits go into a car, as I say, that you never get to see. Done something wrong. Done something wrong. Right, okay. That goes on there like that, with this little fella on there, and then another ketchup lid on there, like that. And that does go there. Did I miss something just now? Yes, I did. That piece there. And then that goes on where does that go? That piece on there. That piece. Oh, does that clip onto there? Like the one ketchup bottle's holding the whole side on. Okay. Right. Okay, we can deal with that. That goes there. That goes there, and now I'm looking for another one with a with a printed part. Okay, it's working. How they did that, Lord only knows, but they did. Completely baffled me. Let's put the ketchup piece on first. And that goes on there like so. Then we need that to go on there, that to go on there like so, and then that to go on there, and then that is to go on. I'm sorry mate, you're going to have to come out, you're going to have to sit there, because with that going on there like so, there's just no room for you, is there? And so there's another piece like that that goes there, and then there's a couple of these that go on there like so. Wow, look, and it's all coming together nicely. The wheel arches are going on. Oh my goodness, like a flash in the pan. Right, so we've got a couple of these that go bum 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 towards there. That goes on that side. That goes on quite tight space down there. Okay, and then that goes on there. That goes on there like that. Okie dokie. Right, so we've got a couple of these now that go either side of that. Right, so we've got some little clear hooks with some frying pans. Little clear hooks with some frying pans. And then the frying pan gets stuck into a brick. like so, and then that goes on like that. Okay, and I'm sure they're going to say do another one. So that goes on there, and then that goes on there, and then that goes on there, like so. So yeah, we've just done that. So we've got a couple of these to do. That goes in that corner, and then this one goes into this corner. We'll hold it all together. Bam, bam, bam. Oh, no, see, wrong brick. That goes on there, and that goes on there. That goes on there, and that goes on there, like so. Okay. And then these it's go 10:30. On. Thank you for that. These go on now, like so. There's a lot goes into all of this, isn't there? It really is an awful lot that goes into it all. Quite incredible. Right, okay, so now we've got a couple of these which look like they go on there like so, followed by a couple of these red studs, round studs, and that goes on there, that goes on there, that goes on there, and that goes on there. And then the last two pieces go on. No, they don't. Oh, hey, have I done that wrong? Have I done that wrong? I'm not quite sure, but I have. So, oh, poo. Oh, I'm going to have to just go back slightly here. It went into sugar. Da, 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 da. Oh, honey, honey. Right, so that goes there, and that goes there. Okay, and then this goes on top of there, and this goes on there, followed by that, followed by that, which goes on to there, followed by that, followed by that. That's how it works. Cocked up, haven't I? Cocked up. Where does that go? Don't do this to me. Oh, of course it does. It goes on the back there. Right, okay. So we need to take that off. We need to take this off. We need to take this off. And we need to take this off. Right, and then we need to turn that like so. That goes back on there. 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 And that goes on there. And that goes on there. And that goes on there. And then that goes on there. And we're all back to where we were. Right, sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen, but it just goes to show that mistakes can easily be made. Right, so we're now on to bag 5. Yeah, it was these little pieces here were around the wrong way, and I made a mistake, and I have to own up to it. Now onto the very last bag to finish off this Dodge Challenger. Right, let's get cracking, shall we? Let's get cracking and get this baby finished. Okay, right, so we've got some new bricks to look at. Goes there, then we need a little 2x1 plate to go on there, and then they go on, yeah, like so. Of course they do. Of course they do. How silly of me to think of anything else. So that goes on there, that goes on there, that goes on that way round, that way round, and then that goes on to, where is it, there, and then that goes on to there like so. That's basically the other one, isn't it? They're the two that go there. Right, okay, so let's build something new now, shall we? Wonder what this part does. I wonder what this part does. That goes on top of that, and this little piece, this jumper piece, goes on top of that. That hooks onto there, and we have a window. A window of opportunity goes onto there, and that goes there, like there, like so. Okay, don't know how, why, but it does. Just don't ask silly questions, eh? Don't ask silly questions. That gets covered up by a brick, and then this gets covered up along the front there, like so. And now we have these bricks, which are like that, and then they get covered onto there, So everything that was under there is now covered up with these. So it's not really a bonnet as such, it's more of a cover up. Yeah, just goes on there like that, I guess. Okay. Okay, right, let's look at the next bit, which is a piece like that and a piece like that, and then a couple of these either side. And that goes along the front there. Like so, I see. So they're not even, all they're actually meant to represent is headlights. Right. Okay. Mine is not the reason why. I'm just building as per the instructions. Maybe I shouldn't even ask the questions. I should just shut up and carry on. Right, so those go on there like so. Then we have a couple of these. I keep forgetting that we're actually nearly finished the build now, aren't we? So yeah, it's getting closer and closer to the end. It looks as though there's still quite a lot to do, doesn't there? Do you not think? To me it does. Looks as though there's a fair amount still to do. I haven't got a clue where some of this stuff, what it's doing and what it's meant to do. So that goes there. That goes onto there with that on there. And we have a single stud with a single piece of black cheese. We have a control panel, goes there. And then we have a double cheese, which goes there. And then this has got a little steering wheel that goes onto there, like so. And then this whole piece so have I done this backwards then? Probably. What a plonker. Right, so I've got, oh I see, they go on top of there like so, and then these pieces go on there. Oh, making quite a few mistakes on this one, aren't I? Maybe it's because I'm trying to look at it in a logical way rather than a way that would fit my brain power. A way that would work in my head. I've just got a different funny head, I think. Right, so that goes on there. Now how are we looking? We're looking quite good, I guess. And then this fits into like so. Okay, right, got that. And with a plate on there like so. Right, got an itchy nose. Right, so we've got some, I haven't got many pieces left here at all, have we? We've got some exhaust pipes here. Go one that side. Go on, don't hide the exhaust pipes, please. Pretty please, with a cherry on the top. Or did I hear something just drop off my arm? Oh, sugar, oh, honey, honey. Right, as you can see, my little setup here is a bit cramped. A wee bit cramped it is. That goes there, goes there. That goes. There's a car outside. I don't know if you can hear it or not, but it's upsetting buttons. Right, that goes there. That goes. Right there. Right, okay. And then we have shush buttons, shush. She's a good guard dog, isn't she? You can tell. Hey, any business would want her as a guard dog. She makes loads of noise. Right, okay, so now we're back on the case. We have that big piece there that goes straight onto there. That was very quick, wasn't it? And now we have wheels with these studs. Oh, crikey. These studs go on. Look at that. It's going to look smart, isn't it? That like so, that like so, and that like so. We now have a completed, put those over there. We now have the completed Dodge Challenger SRT. What else is it? Where's the box? It's the Dodge SRT Hellcat. There we go. Should we just make sure that it's looking how it's supposed to look? That goes on there. That goes on. Ah, so these are meant to be slightly different. Like so. Good job we did a fact check on the box, isn't it? Right, so that goes on there, and then that goes on there. Right, like so. Okay. Right, so we have now completed the Dodge Challenger SRT Hellcat. We have the bits going on underneath, so it's there. And take the windscreen off, you've got a dashboard, and you've got seats. Yeah, it's very good. Look at that. And the mechanic, because he won't fit inside, so he can just work on the engine. I don't know what his name is. Probably George or Harry or something. Right, so that was all of it. Oh, there you go. He sits inside. He does sit inside, but he's got to let go of his spanner. Let's put him back in. Let's see if we can get him inside in the driver's seat. There we go. He's in, but he has to leave his spanner behind. So, ladies and gentlemen, what do you think? Hey, you happy with that? You impressed with it? You pleased with it? It was a hell of a build, wasn't it? It wasn't just a simple, silly little car, and I think it's turned out really well. It was actually quite a fun build in the end, not knowing exactly how it was going to turn out. But yeah, no, I'm quite pleased with that. What do you think, Buttons? Are you happy with that, or are you worried about what's going on outside? Hey? You funny little thing. Well, as you can see behind me, I'm sure you can see behind me, we've got a Speed Champions Ferrari, we've got a Bugatti, and we've got a McLaren. We've also got a Pinata, a Harry Potter set, and some botanical daisies. So if you've got this far, which I doubt very many of you have, but the ones that have got this far, if you'd like to put in the comments which one you'd like to see next, or whether you'd like to see minifigures or some Lego sorting to be done. Buttons, have you had enough? It looks like it. Yeah, so do you want to see sorting? Do you want to see minifigures, or would you like to see one of these being opened and built? Please let me know in the comments. Again, please like, subscribe, follow, and comment. We'll appreciate everything we get, don't we, Buttons? Yes, we do. And reiterate, if you've got a TikTok, if you're watching this on TikTok, please go over to your Facebook and YouTube channels and find me on there and follow and subscribe, please. It would make a hell of a difference to me and to Buttons, because we want to carry on making these, and to do that we need a bit of a following. I think we're close to 20,000 followers on TikTok and only 48 on YouTube, which is we're miles apart from each other. So if you could do that for me, I'd really appreciate it. Thank you ever so much again for watching. Button says goodbye. There we go. Thanks very much, and we'll see you in the next build. Take care. Bye bye. You're a funny old dog, aren't you? Hey, you're a funny old thing. Hey, hey, you had enough. Come on then.